Welcome to the Fire Life Podcast CT. The stories and opinions expressed on this podcast are solely the individuals speaking. The hosts, firefighters, fire buffs, and sparks do not represent any fire department or organization. Stand by for fire talk.
All right, well, we would like to welcome Bryan Mathiau to the Fire Life Podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.
Glad you could be here. I'd like to talk about the start, kind of bring it back to the beginning. What got you into the fire service? Tell me about yourself.
All right. Well, I mean, how much time you guys got?
Yeah,
That's the real question.
we got plenty of film.
Oh,
We got
plenty of
plenty of
time.
time.
All right. Yeah. No. So, like, I mean, even going back to when I was a little kid, everybody says the same thing, right? Like, oh, I was little, I was going to be a fireman. I had zero family in the fire service. I had more family in the military than I did in the fire service. But just growing up, just being around, like my grandfather, both my grandfathers actually, they were both service members. Being very influenced by the things that they said and the things that they did, and then, watching stuff on TV. So growing up with Emergency and Chips and what were the Rescue 911, right?
Yeah.
William Shatner. Oh my God. Like, I think that was it.
I watched
right?
all those shows.
That was it. Even watching some of the stuff on YouTube that they have, and showing my kids that stuff, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't watch that. This is so disgusting." I'm like, "They're all reenactments. It's the fakest thing I've ever seen in my life." Just watching that stuff really kind of spearheaded me into knowing I was going to do something along the lines of public service. Now, whether I was going to be law enforcement, whether I was going to be in the fire service, I was still very torn at the time. But yeah, those things really kind of shaped me for kind of the direction I was going towards adulthood, and then, fast forward to the early 90s, Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm, seeing all that stuff come out, seeing a lot of the military members over in Kuwait, doing their thing, like, I kind of want to do something like that. And that really kind of just carried on throughout my entire life. So, to kind of piggyback off that, moving on through the grade levels and then eventually graduating high school. Again, still wasn't really sure whether I wanted law enforcement or whether I wanted to, go the fire route. I enlisted in the Army Reserves. I enlisted as a military police officer.
I was gonna say, what was your MOS?
Yeah, it was 31 Bravo. I was an MP. I was attached to a combat support unit. So I kind of wanted to pick an MOS that wasn't fire related because, you're young, you're stupid, you're full of adrenaline, right? I want to do things.
You want to do stuff.
Yeah, I want to do the stuff, right? And I knew like MPs could definitely help me on the civilian side. And granted, firefighting could too. I'm not saying it wouldn't, but I wanted to be in it.
Yeah.
And sure enough, right? Got attached to the 344, thought of New Haven. There was a split company at the time. Fast forward a little bit longer. Hey, here's your paperwork, and you guys are getting deployed. So
I was going to say, did you deploy?
Very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So I enlisted in 2006. I want to say.
Definitely deployed. Then.
So, we were in it. Coincidentally, at the time, I was actually living in Manchester. I applied to join a local volunteer fire department, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to start getting my feet wet. I'm going to start doing this stuff. Warno papers came, and then I got my orders to actually deploy, and then that was kind of the end of that one. So,
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Not much you can do at that point.
No, it's Uncle Sam says you're going. So,
That's it.
Went overseas, did the thing. I was in Rustamaya, Iraq for a while, bopped around all of Iraq for the better part of 14 months, came home, realized that law enforcement was not really going to be a career I was going to pursue just based on everything I was kind of dealing with at the time. Got my EMT, got my paramedic, and then got hired by the town of Manchester. Yeah, so that was the Cliff Note version of me in a nutshell right there, yeah.
So with getting onto Manchester, what was your first company you got onto for department?
After I got
when you
on the job?
On the job, yeah.
So all our new employees, they don't really get assigned to a spot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
so usually all our new employees, they come on after their FTO period is done. So we kind of do things a little bit different, and I would say not so much nationwide, but I would say the better part of the nation probably has the same format that we follow, just because manpower is manpower, right? So we would have everybody drive. Right, so you have to be a driver. You have to know how to pump. You have to know how to, we're an all hazards ALS department. So, on top of getting picked up, you need to be a paramedic. You need to do everything essentially, all
right.
at
So
once.
I heard, so you're a paramedic. So Manchester does paramedic level service too.
Yeah. So we run all ALS engines and
Yeah.
trucks.
Oh.
We have no ambulances. We work very closely with
It's the way to do it.
It's not bad. Yeah, it is the way to do it. We work very closely with the ambulance service in Manchester. They're a commercial company here in town. They have a very large response area. So yeah, we what happens is if there's a medical incident, the ambulance shows up, the medic shows up like on a piece,
Right.
and yeah, if it's deemed not ALS, they'll send it BLS with the ambulance, and then
Yep.
we go back in service, and that's
And that's that. And
Yeah.
if you need to, you ride in with them.
And yeah, if you need to, we ride in.
Ride in. Sweet. That's definitely a different setup, which I like.
It is, and I shout out to ASM. They definitely hook us up if members are going out of town, say Hartford, St. Francis, somewhere that's not in the immediate vicinity. By and large, they usually bring our medics back to the station.
Oh, nice.
Or bring us back in town.
So the engine doesn't have to follow to the hospital.
No.
'Cause
Nope.
I know a lot of departments that have that, set up. Whatever truck you were on follows the ambulance.
Yeah,
to
no,
the
we
hospital.
try to at least keep the pieces in town just
that's
for,
nice.
at a minimum, like fire suppression, BLS services. If another call goes out in that area where the medic left,
Yeah.
we will send another piece based on the code.
Yeah.
And, just for a medical incident. Obviously, it's a fire. Everybody's going. But we try to keep all our pieces in town.
Yeah. How many guys you got on a piece?
So our engines right now have 3.
Okay.
And one of those is a paramedic.
Is the paramedic? Yeah.
And then the trucks are all having 4 members.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. I was just thinking, like, if the paramedic leaves, how many guys does that leave on the piece?
Yeah, so 2, so we
Yeah.
have 2. So we we train our guys to not, at least from the medical aspect, and I know people are probably like, oh, talking about medicals,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I know.
it's the reality of it,
It
right?
is.
I mean,
it's the reality of every place now.
I know.
I mean, it is what
it is what it is. But we really train our guys to do the best they can with what they have and make the right decisions. So
Right.
they're not writing in everything just because they can. Right?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
If it's an ALS call, they're writing in an ALS call.
Right.
If it can be downgraded appropriately,
Right.
then they're going to downgrade so that we can stay in service.
Stay in service,
But
right,
I mean,
yeah.
I tell all my guys at the end of the day, like, if that's your family member, like, what would you do?
That's the best way to look at
if
it.
you go by that mantra, you're never going to be wrong.
Nope.
Ever.
Nope.
So.
Can we talk about the training it took to get on to Manchester?
Yeah, so all our members, they go through the Connecticut Fire Academy. All right. So, yeah, just because you have Fire 1, Fire 2, that means nothing. We're going to send you to recruit that, well, nowadays is a 15-week process, a live-in process at the Connecticut Fire Academy. Once they get out of that, they'll then go through a very extensive FTO process. If they don't have their Q, they'll go through Q training. They go through an in-house pump training. And then from there, once they're deemed cleared, they will start to filter into the rest of the company. So kind of going back to what we were talking about before of like what your first assignment was.
Well, I was going to say,
Yeah.
So you're not just immediately put on a piece, right?
No. You're not put on a piece until you're deemed like, I'll say the word competent.
Competent, yeah.
Competent, because day one, you could be the primary paramedic and you could also be the chauffeur,
Right.
which is a lot for a brand new kid who's 21 years old,
And
who's lived in mommy and daddy's basement
Zero
their entire life, right?
experience,
Zero
yeah.
life experience, and all of a sudden, hey, you're pulling up to an absolute blower, right?
Right.
And it's a lot. It's a lot to handle. So we try our best to make sure that everybody that is going online is the best prepared that they can be.
I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great policy to have, honestly. A lot of departments, because they don't want to pay overtime or whatever, you immediately are on the piece.
Yeah.
The second you walk in the firehouse.
And even like prior to going to the academy, we have guys go through, guys and gals, right? Firefighters.
Yep.
We have them going through SCBA training. We have them go
Oh, excellent.
When I say SCBA training, we put them usually by day 3, day 4, they're going through what we, at least at the fire academy, they call the weeper.
The weeper,
The
yeah.
weeper, you
Yeah.
know, so the entanglement prop, where we like to know if there is a problem before they go up there.
For people who don't know what the weeper is, they call it that because it makes grown men cry. So it's quite the entanglement SCBA maze. So.
Yeah, I mean, we have one at work. We completely black you out. We get you all jacked up, like towards the end of everything. And if you're claustrophobic, if you can't handle it, like we'd rather find out before you go up to the academy so that we can start to work on it.
Oh, 100%.
Because
yeah.
once you're up there, we want you to focus on the stuff you need to focus on. You know, I don't want members going up there and stressing about, I don't know how to put my mask on. I don't know
100%.
how to, just the silly little things that kind of go along with wearing an air pack, putting gear on, all that fun stuff.
So you guys don't require, like I know, like department near me requires Fire 1 and Fire 2 just to apply.
Nope.
You guys don't require any of that.
Nope.
But you pre-train them before they go to the academy, which I also like. I mean, that's,
absolutely.
teaching at a regional school, we have guys that join on Tuesday, and on Wednesday they come to Fire 1. And they're like, I don't even know what this piece of gear is called.
Yeah, we try to eliminate all. It's like I said, we want them to go up there and focus on the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Not how to put your gear on.
Yeah.
Or later on down the road, I was an instructor up there for several years, and even towards the tail end of recruit, you can still see members recruits really struggling with putting their stuff on. Like we
Right.
want to eliminate all that.
Yeah.
We want you to know how to stretch line. We want
You
you
actually
to know how
want
to,
them to be prepared.
Oh, absolutely, 100%,
Oh, I like that.
100%.
So still going on about training, how did you work at the CFA? When did that all start at the CFA? How did you get involved there?
Yeah, so after I got out of recruit, I went back and kind of just volunteered my time doing PT with the CFA. I thought it was something that I found personally very beneficial. Did a lot of working out. I did a lot of training, especially in the military. Did tons of weightlifting, and then, once I got on the job, I had guys like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be fine. Like, go take CPAT. You're gonna be good." And I realized that the training I was doing was not
A different type of working out.
It was 110% different. I'm like, this is awful. Like, this sucks. Like, it beats you up to no end. And so I figured, you know what? Once I get out of recruit, I'm going to go back and just kind of volunteer my time to, not only share some of the hardships I had with newer members coming in, but to keep me in check. And that was the big thing. Fast forward a few years, I ended up getting hired on as a private contractor through the state. Did a bunch of stuff with PT, did a bunch of stuff with the actual fire training itself, and then eventually getting a full ride through the state of Connecticut and becoming a full academy instructor, which, I still did PT, but I was really focusing more on like the fireground tasks and
training.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the training, yeah.
You got to wear many hats.
Yeah.
You got to be good at wearing many hats. You're not going to be perfect, but you got
gotta
to
be good.
You got to know what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And you got to know what you're doing, and that's something that, at least for me personally, I strive for. And I'm not going to sit there and pretend I know everything about everything, because I 100% don't.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm kind of like a nobody. But
Well, they say the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know.
that is the truth.
Uh-huh.
That is the truth. And I think that was one of the biggest things that I took away from being an instructor was, pre-recording, we were kind of just going back and forth. Like, I love teaching classes one-on-one because I would interact with the class so much. I would learn just as much probably as the people taking the program or the class, just by picking brains. Like, hey, you operate out of this department. Like, what do you guys do? Can I bring that back to my department? Or did I say something that you can bring back to your department?
What I loved about teaching was I learned more. I think, from other instructors that I was teaching with about how to do things than I did when I took the actual class.
Yeah.
You know, because they have a different way of doing it in this department. That's 100% better way of doing it than the way I was taught, you know?
Absolutely.
So I think that's great. That's awesome. Just out of curiosity, like, how many stations does Manchester have and whatnot?
Yeah, so I don't know like how much you guys know about Manchester. We recently, so we were a combination department for pretty much forever, right?
Yeah.
So we had the town of Manchester, we had the 8th district. As of 2 years ago, I want to say, I think it was finally set in stone. We've merged departments, so we are now just one entity.
So you were a combination department, so like were the volunteers and career under the same chief, or was it totally?
Oh, maybe
was it more of a separate type of thing?
Maybe I shouldn't have said combination. That's probably the bad verbiage to use. So the town of Manchester was a career department.
Okay.
Career department. The taxing district of the 8th district was a combination department. So we had two departments in town.
In town.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I digress. So,
All right.
so they had volunteers. They had staff that were paid.
Yeah.
And they did their thing. We did our thing, and that was it.
That was that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now you're all just one department.
Now we are just one department. Yep.
That's not. I'm sure that wasn't an easy thing to accomplish.
So getting to that point, it definitely had some hurdles. But if you looked at statistics and everything else, it was the right thing to do.
Got to the
for
point where it made sense.
The town at 100%, it made sense.
Yeah.
You know, and I have to say, since the merger, it was seamless. I would say. I mean,
Nice.
the upstairs, I give kudos to them. They made things happen. But as far as like the members that we absorbed,
Yeah.
and kind of put on, I mean, they're all phenomenal. Like everything has worked out very, very well. And at the end of the day, it's
That's great.
the residents that really benefited from this whole thing. You
Yeah.
know, because now instead of having multiple different SOPs through different departments, it's just everybody gets the same thing.
Yeah, which is nice.
You know, so it definitely worked out.
Yeah. So just, I mean, I know we're sitting in an old Manchester station at the moment, but like, how many stations do you have? Are they
Oh
around
yeah, so
town,
going
you
back
know?
to that, and I'm like all over the place. What do you guys think about aliens? What do you guys think?
I'm pretty sure they're real. I don't know if they're here yet, but I'm pretty sure they're real.
What do you think,
I think it's a question for Andrew, but he's probably not going to.
Andrew? What do you got?
Yeah.
No, nothing.
No.
I don't think it should be on film.
You don't want to get? Oh, I do. That's why I came here today.
I think
really to talk about aliens.
I think they're in the sea. That's what I think.
All right.
Down there.
It's possible.
I'm here for it. But no, Manchester's running as of now. Right after the merger, we're running 7 stations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's good. So it's a large geographical area.
It is, yeah. So we have 27.7 square miles, roughly about 60,000 residents, give or take. We are the largest suburb outside of Hartford, east of the river in Hartford County. As far as like the demographics of occupancy is concerned here in town, you name it, we have it.
I was going to say, just driving around, I said, because I'm not from this area. I mean, you got industrial, you've got residential, your typical, wood frame, but then you've also got huge apartment buildings.
A lot of apartment buildings, yeah, like the north end, so like area 5, area 7 we call, like more towards the mall area. Tons of apartment buildings, a lot of like old school type 3, like Main Street USA, like we have it. Branching out from that, it's all like balloon frame, multifamily, and then moving on further than that, a lot of single story, 1.5 story, like capes, ranches, things.
Yeah, that's what I know. When I was driving through, I'm like, wow, this looks like a normal residential neighborhood. And then like literally the next street, it's a massive apartment building and a huge like aerospace company. And
Yeah,
it's like, okay,
yeah.
this is different, you
Yep.
know? So yeah, you seem to get a little bit of everything.
It's a little bit of everything. Yeah, we did have rail going through the town up into I don't know, a few years ago. I think they finally officially nixed all the rail traffic. But we did for a while.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking like your setup with engines, ladders. Do you have a rescue, or do your ladder trucks provide?
Yeah.
that,
So so out of headquarters, Station 2, which is on Center Street, that's Truck 2. They have a full complement of rescue equipment. So they kind of double tap on being an aerial apparatus and being a rescue. And then up in the north end, Engine 7, they're our second rescue piece.
Okay, so
And-
they operate like a squad type of thing.
Yeah, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Oh,
they have the other complement of rescue stuff.
Yeah.
But each piece in town pretty much has its own specialty equipment on it, which I think makes us
Oh.
unique.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you all can kind of pit, whoever gets there first can go to work, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's more like a volunteer type of thing, It's interesting that a career department set up kind of like that. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
and it works for us. It definitely
Yeah,
works.
absolutely.
It's been we've had to put to the test before, and it definitely prevails. So yeah, it's nice to have specialty equipment kind of spread out throughout the town.
Well, especially, over that geographical area, you kind of have to.
Yeah,
I mean,
yep.
you'd be waiting forever at one point in town if the two ladders had to come.
Yeah,
So.
So since we're in the Connecticut Firemen's Historical Society, and you being at Manchester, and we're in Manchester, how does that work with like the new guys coming in? Do you guys tell them a lot of history about? They come here. There's so much history.
I feel like it would
Manchester.
be mandatory to make
Yeah.
them come here because
Yeah.
this is the original Station
So
1, right?
yeah, so we actually all our new hires get books that are made, and it's crazy about the evolution. Like when I first came on, things are a lot different than now, right? So there's actually history of every station, about every area,
Yeah.
all those things. And this town is so deep rooted in history. It would kind of be, well, it wouldn't kind of be, it would be a massive disservice to kind of not tell new employees about what they're walking into here.
Right.
Just
100%.
with everything. You look around here where we are right now, the original Station 1, or hey, these massive brick buildings that we're near, they're just apartment buildings. Well, hey, they once weren't apartment buildings.
They were
It
huge
was-
factories.
They're massive factories. This is an old like mill style like factory town, and everything
Yeah.
was kind of built off of that, and then ended up spreading out. So
Kind of the quintessential like New England town.
it is absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to hit on any like memorable jobs you've had in your career?
I can't even. I don't know. So I will say, given for the size we are in the location, we're not burning once a week. We're certainly not the 6th borough, but
Right, yeah.
we're averaging about 30 structure fires a year, like good structure fires. So,
That's impressive in itself for any department nowadays.
Yeah,
Fire
yeah.
prevention works. So,
It-
fires dropped.
It 100% it does drop, or it has dropped, I should
Yeah.
say. I think this year we had just over 200 fire incidents. But as far as like actual like structure fires that we've had, I think this year was 29. But if you look across the board, we're running about 30. So this is a fairly busy town. I mean, we pulled just over 10,500 calls. Obviously, we are a paramedic service, so,
Right, so you're
just
running
like anybody
medicals,
else, right?
yeah.
Where the bulk of stuff is going to be medicals, but. There's no rhyme or reason, man. Just craziness happens here, and it's yeah.
Now, do
wild.
the highways come through Manchester?
Yeah, so we have 84, 291, and 384.
I wasn't sure if it was right on the outskirts or if it actually.
No,
actually
everything
comes
cuts
through.
right through. And don't quote me, but I want to say, as far as anywhere else in the state of Connecticut, we have the most mileage of highway that cuts through here, just with, like I said, 84, 384,
Right.
and 291. So there's a lot of highway that goes through here.
Yeah. Well, and then all the problems that come with that, I'm sure.
Yeah, and believe it or not, you think like, oh man, they got the most amount of highway. It's not as
It's not as bad as like
it's not as bad as you think. I mean,
it's like 84 in Danbury where they're doing an extrication, a week, type of thing.
You know what? There's no rhyme or reason to this place either. It will go dry without like a pin job or anything for a while, and then all of a sudden, like boom, 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 we'll get 3 right back to back to back. It's the same thing with fires.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We'll
comes
have,
in waves.
Yeah. We'll have nothing, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 we'll get a handful,
Yeah.
and then it'll slow down. With us being so saturated now with apparatus and stations and everything is I will say very strategically placed out, throughout the years, we get a good jump on stuff when it does come in. like a good jump.
So you're not saving the foundation. You're actually
No,
getting
no,
in
no.
there and saving the structure.
Yeah,
and,
it's pretty much it's pretty much like, you know, I don't want to use the term like if you're first, you're last, but it's the truth
100%.
around here. It is the truth around here. Like when you look up at the CAD screen, you see fire inside. Like if you're not there, like lickety split, you're missing out. You know, so
you're hitting the hydrant and taking up the rear. So
yeah, absolutely. So it's a scramble to get out the door, you know, because I mean, you want to get there, you want to, you know, not to sound cliche, but I mean, that's our whole purpose is to, you know, life, property, all those things, and I can't even imagine my house, something happening to it and losing everything, you know. So so we try to be as aggressive as possible to save what we can save. And like I said, with the town or the city, depending on how you want to call it, being so saturated, we do a pretty good job with getting there very quickly.
I was going to say, and having so much apparatus and personnel, I mean, I doubt you guys really have like a mutual aid need, so to speak, for your typical fire. You know what I mean?
So like our bread and butter fires, not really. I mean, we certainly have like our career department that's next door, East Hartford.
Yeah.
You know, they'll provide mutual aid for us to come do station coverage, and vice versa.
Sure,
we go to them all the time.
Yeah.
You know, East Hartford's been great to us, but you know, as far as like actually recalling those apparatus and to do stuff, it certainly does happen. After the merger, we're now running 5 and 2. So so we'll have 4 engines, 1 truck, and then if we have to recall an additional truck or an engine to the scene, we will. So that kind of made things a little bit easier for us in terms of just getting the manpower on scene and doing stuff.
Well, I mean, if you can get the manpower right off the hop, it makes life a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
So, nice. Do you guys have like an alarm system as far as like first alarm, second alarm, or are you like one of those departments that calls each individual piece as needed?
No, so our alarm system is it pretty much goes as if it's going to be more than 3 companies plus, we have something called an all-tone.
Oh, okay.
Which kind of alerts you that, or let me back up a little bit. If there's 3 or more companies out already, we'll get an all-tone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we don't really have like a structure fire tone, or we don't have anything like that. But, you know, if you hear an all-tone, it definitely behooves you to look up at the CAD screen and see
what's going on.
See what's going on, yeah, absolutely.
Make sure everything's ready to go just in case.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what do you see for like the future of the Manchester Fire Department?
So we have gone leaps and bounds from when I first got hired. I mean, leaps and bounds. So we've had tons of retirements, like guys super knowledgeable about the job. You know, they've kind of all left. My department is very young right now, which is a double-edged sword because you have a lot of inexperienced individuals. You know, I'm kind of blessed in my position right now where I got to learn from a lot of those guys before they left. But at the same token, I got a bunch of really young, eager, hungry guys that like they want to train every day. They want to go out and do the stuff, which is awesome. Like my crew, oh my God. Like I have one of the best crews that you can ask for. Like, you know, we kind of have our own things set in stone. A lot of crews seem to kind of fall in the same mindset now where, hey, you show up in the morning, get your stuff done. I don't even have to ask, right? Guys just come in, they check their BAs out, they're checking the apparatus, they're doing all of this stuff,
just
and
get
then
it done and out
get
of
it
the
get
way.
it done. I like to get things done by lunchtime, right?
Yeah.
So like training, whatever is mandatory that has to be done that day. So not only do we have monthly mandatory training, but we also have mandatory quarterly training, and then whatever the company wants to do that day. So we are constantly training, which is it's nice.
It's great.
And it's kind of something new that's taken off over the last few years, I would say, especially for those newer individuals that they weren't really exposed to a lot in the academy. And you know, you can only be exposed to so much because
you can only do so much, and that's it.
Absolutely, right. And getting out of the academy to coming to work is totally like, hey, listen, every time the bell goes off, we're not going to go to like you're not going to go out to fire shown out of 2 windows every time.
Right.
Ain't happening.
Right.
So it's good to get everybody else up to speed, especially being, like I said, an all hazards department, getting guys on ropes, confined space, all that fun stuff, trying to train them up to, if there is an incident, they know what they're doing. And that right there is a challenge in and of itself.
I was going to say, do you guys have do you guys have like a training center or anything for Manchester? Like some departments have like a burn building or,
Yeah, so we have a spot behind Station 1, where we have our version of the Weeper, like bailout props. We have cars turned over on its side. We have like an old decommissioned light pole that we can use. So guys who do extrication training, stabilization, and stuff like that over there. Fleming Road right now seems to be like the hot spot where one of their old fire stations we kind of turned into a training center. Hopefully, like you said, like where do we see ourselves in a few years? I'm hoping to see us where we are now, build on that momentum, because the momentum is out of control, right? The train's rolling, and we got to keep it rolling. And I'm hoping to get a legit like training center where everybody can just go there and whatever they have to train on, they can just bang out, And it's in the works, like it is. It's just a matter of getting it done.
Well, funding, and I'm sure funding is a huge part of it.
Well, yeah, the almighty dollar kind of rules
it
everything.
Rules 100% of everything, yeah.
So I see your hoodie is the Manchester Road Race. Do you want to talk about that? When that started, or?
Oh, the Manchester Road Race, yeah. So it is one of the largest road races in the Northeast. The last road race that we had, it was kind of hampered by weather, but it is definitely one of the qualifiers for some of the bigger road races. So it's international. We got Olympians running it. We got people coming from Europe, from Africa, from Asia. Like, if you're a runner, for whatever reason, you're coming to Manchester, Connecticut to run that thing. It's crazy, and it is such a good time. But it is a full scale event. They set up stages. They have bands playing. They have like all this crazy stuff. So like when you're running, crazy. So I ran it with a bunch of guys, and it's like no other. So it's unlike running the Boston Marathon or something like that. It's very, what's the word? Like townsy, I'll say. It's very townsy, right? So like, obviously the people that are true runners and stuff, they start up in the first seed, and they go, so they're finishing by the time everybody's like taking off.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's guys launching drinks. It is such a blast, but the amount of people that are there is out of control. So it is definitely a good time. But yeah, like I said, it's one of the largest road races in the Northeast.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so we that in and of itself logistically is challenging. Yeah, but between like us, PD, the ambulance, and then obviously federal agencies are coming in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that many people.
Yeah, the Alphabet Boys are definitely showing up with all their little black boxes and whatever they do. But
yeah, I mean, you talked about you do confined space and stuff. Do you got any? I'm thinking like specialty equipment, like that somebody else might not have, like drones or like stuff that anything crazy.
So we do have our Office of Emergency Management. They do have their own like sector, and we can recall them if need be, and they have an entire arsenal of drones.
Oh, really?
So thermal imaging, you name it. So Case Mountain is one of our biggest hiking areas that we have. So we do have a mountain in the area. What we're good for, it depends on the rescue type. I mean, we've had some hellacious mountain bike wrecks up there in the past, but most of what we deal with is lost hikers. They get off the path. Weather's not too good. They're not adequately prepared. And the next thing you know, like, hey, we're doing a full scale like rescue off the mountain.
Yep.
We certainly recall them. They fly their drones. They have their whole like FAA set up, and so we'll work in tandem with them. Technology is just evolving so quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, even for the fire service, there's all sorts of crazy things that are happening right now, and it's great. It really is. But at the end of the day, we have to think of technology as just what is
helps.
It's a tool, right?
It's a tool. That's it.
It's like people that get
like any tools, it breaks.
It breaks, right? So we need to go back to the tried and true methods. So you're talking about, hey, I have a thermal imaging camera. I have, I'm going to take that in with my search team.
Right.
What's going to happen when that thing bites the dust?
Inevitably, the battery's going to die. Guaranteed every time. That's the way
Hopefully
it
not.
works.
Hopefully you check your stuff in the morning. But you're right. But things break, right? Things break, and I think at the end of the day, the methods that we have in place, they're tried and true. They've been working for as long as they've been working, and technology does nothing but help us out with those. But at the end of the day, you can't be relying on it, and that's the big thing. Like, is that mindset of I'm going to sit there and I'm going to put all my faith in this one piece of equipment. You can't do. You're doing nothing but setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, 100%.
You have to train old school. Like when we do search drills and we train, like we don't train with a tick.
No,
like we black ourselves out. We just do basic search drills. Right.
And then you train with a tick. Separate from search drills.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. That's definitely the way it should be done, because you're right. It's going to break. Something's going to go wrong.
Something's going to happen.
So we got you
a little something.
Oh, what is this?
Coming on the podcast, some little merch.
Oh, man.
That's all.
Well, appreciate it. We still didn't get down to business about what Matt thought about aliens.
No, he's still never.
I think they're in the sea. That's what I think.
They're in the seat.
That's what I think.
They're here.
Down at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Yeah.
Oh, see now we got a podcast. Now we're talking. Oh, thanks guys, appreciate that. Look at that, boom. Who made this?
Brass City Inc.
Brass City Inc. Shout out to Brass City Inc. right there. All right, shout out to them.
100%.
Nice job. Yeah, it looks good.
David and Hannah over there, they're amazing. They're very communicative. Everything was.
They did a great job. They helped us with the logo and everything. So
Oh, perfect. No, it came out good. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
All right. Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah. No. Hey, it was a blast.
Yeah, it definitely was. All right.
Thank you for coming on.
All right. Thank you much.